This is the Marketing Boss Podcast, where today's top marketing professionals reveal their best tips, tools, and strategies, and we all become better leaders because of it. And here's your host, video marketing expert, Perez.
Hey everybody, welcome to another great episode of the Marketing Boss Podcast. I'm Parshell Hotton. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. I'm excited about a guest we have on the show today. Her name is Jill Perez, and she's with CustomerCentric, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy what she's going to be sharing with us today. The focus of it is going to be around the value of investing in your customers. And you guys know that if you don't have any customers, you don't have a business. So I'm really excited just in terms of the things that she's going to share with us today. Before we jump into that, I want to introduce you guys to her and give you a little bit of her bio. So prior to her joining the Customer-Centric management team, she drove marketing efforts at some of the most recognized high-technology companies in the space, including BMC Software, WorldCom, MCI, and Premier Global Services. She also has close to 20 years in combined marketing experience in her field, and she's won plenty of awards of excellence from her peers and executive management. She has a successful skill in developing high-impact customer marketing programs that have directly impacted sales and revenue for the company she's worked with. She's attended the University of Georgia and earned her MBA with honors from, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Kennesaw State University?
Yes, Kennesaw. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. She's a native of Jordan. She lives in Atlanta. Jill, thanks for being here today. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So I definitely also want to thank those who've connected with me so far on social media. I just want to make a quick plug here. If you'd like to connect with me, definitely check me out on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. My name is Parshell Hotton. Also, be sure to join our private LinkedIn group. It's called the Marketing Boss Club. That's where marketing professionals like us can collaborate and continue to grow together. So again, that's the Marketing Boss Club. Come on in and join the group. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get into the interview with Jill. So Jill, tell us a little bit in terms of, how you got started in marketing, why you chose this particular career.
Well, I guess I would say I chose marketing in particular because it just presented so many different opportunities for me to really find my niche and fully use my abilities. I think there's so many different facets to marketing that require a great extent of creativity and using several different skill sets. When you look at other areas like, accounting and things like that, there's only a certain window, I guess you could say, of skill sets that you really rely upon, but marketing really allows you to break outside the box and to go in a lot of different areas. And I really liked that possibility when I was first starting out. So I guess you could say I've been lucky that I've never really felt boxed in my career, which has been nice. I've been very lucky to explore and be able to practice all the different areas of marketing with the companies I've been with. So, I've been able to work in product marketing, customer marketing, digital marketing, and really cover all the areas of marketing. And it's really been fun for me, and it keeps it interesting. And it really, marketing, like with sales and many other areas of business, it's always evolving. It's always changing. It keeps you on your toes. But I really enjoy it because, in my view, marketing in its, I guess you could say, its simplest form is really helping connect buyers to what they need, even if they're not aware of it. And I find enjoyment in that. So it's been pretty fulfilling for me.
That's awesome. I love that. And then sometimes with a lot of the guests that are on the show, it's either that they chose marketing or marketing chose them. So it's I love what you said as well. It's a field in which you can combine a lot of different skill sets, so that's awesome. Tell me a little bit then as it relates to customer-centric. What is it that you guys do there exactly?
Well, we, if you had to put it simply, we help sales organizations sell more and make more money. So what we do is we help sales organizations, from small to large size companies, learn how to sell more effectively using a sales process. And the sales methodology that we use is, as we're called customer-centric selling. It's centered around the buyer. So it's really not about I guess you could say, selling as it is helping buyers buy. So we firmly believe, day one of our workshop that we deliver to our customers is, we're going to help you become better buyer facilitators. So helping them buy, helping them find and address what their needs and goals and problems are versus traditional old school selling, because that's really dead. And sales has really come a long way. So that's really what we do is we offer very specific buyer-centered training, that helps these sales organizations learn how to engage better with their buyers. And in doing so, it allows them to increase their revenue and their bottom line. So it's, we're sort of the wizard behind the curtain that helps them, give them that sales process that they need to really hone those skills.
That's awesome. And so now I can see why customer marketing is really key in terms of being the topic of conversation today. This makes up a lot of what you guys actually do. What do you see in terms of, actually, let me ask this just to be clear. Customer marketing, how would you define that?
I think it's really enabling and giving a platform to your client base to tell your story for you. I always tell people, that your customers can tell the story better than you can. And I think when it comes down to it, especially as a B2B organization, we're in the business of helping other businesses. So if they're being successful, that makes us successful. So it's, really that's where the reward comes in for us. And I think that that's what really sells other prospects in the marketplace is they see, okay, this isn't coming from us saying how great we are. This is coming from XYZ company that's been able to increase revenue by 40% in the last year by using this process. And I think that is a very powerful story when you have sales management that can sit down and be able to tell other people, hey, this is how it's worked for me, and this is how we've improved our business. And, and that speaks volumes because it's more of a value add when it comes to the trust and sincerity that your prospect's receiving. It isn't just a brochure that we're putting out there. This is coming straight from the people that have used our services. So I think customer marketing really is that powerful platform to have them tell your story for you.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, and that really ties into the types of content that you can build around that, whether it be testimonial videos, case studies, things of that nature. Have there been any specific marketing campaigns that you guys have launched that, was really successful in achieving that?
Around customer marketing specifically, yes, I've been lucky in the past organizations I've worked with, BMC Software and some of these other organizations to be able to be a part of some really great customer marketing programs. So I brought a lot of that with me to CustomerCentric Selling, and we've been able to develop and launch what we call the Customer Showcase. So the Customer Showcase is a separate section on our website where prospects can come and spend time looking at everything that our customers have to tell. So we have over 70 success stories that we published on there, which, not to toot our horn too much, but none of our competitors really have that scale. So we actually have over 70 different success stories published. We have over a dozen video testimonials that we've published over the last couple of years. We even have customer awards that we give to various customers each year to recognize them for their work that they've done. And we've even had some joint press releases we've put out around our customer successes. So that section of our website has been one of the top viewed, sections of our website to date. So there are a lot of people spending time looking at the success stories, looking at the videos, learning more about what it is that customers are able to do with our sales process. And that really has been a very key marketing tool for us, that Customer Showcase program. So that's probably been one of the greatest successes around customer marketing we've had yet.
I love that. So you have the stories, testimonials, press releases, videos. The question I have now is which of those formats of the content, whether it be video or the press releases, what have you, which one of those seems to be the most impactful?
I think really, and this sort of, I think, reflects the overarching trend in marketing right now is video. I really think the video testimonials have really made a huge impact with regards to the type of engagement we've been seeing, I guess you could say, has really been great. And I think it's because you're actually seeing someone, or an actual person on the other end that is sharing their story. And, and they're short clips, it's a minute or two. It's not terribly long. But it's just enough to be able to share that story and put it in a format that people like. So it's easy to share in social media, and newsletters and things like that. So the video marketing has really been an area, especially within our customer showcase, that we've really started to invest more in. And going forward, that I think that's really one of the trends within marketing that I think is only going to get bigger versus smaller. And that's definitely where we're moving towards, is adding more of those video testimonials to the showcase. So I think that's definitely one area in particular that has been most successful for us.
That's awesome, and I love that. And it's actually, as well, it's allowing you guys to stand out from all the others. The fact that you have these many testimonials. What advice would you give the listeners who might, after listening to this, say, you know what, we really should invest more in our customers? What advice would you have to them that can help them also develop in terms of standing out?
I really think it comes down to finding what I would call your champions. You have your client base, and I think you really need to find, those champions, those evangelists, if you want to call it that are seeing the most success from your product or service, and those that are most comfortable, that you have the strongest relationship with, to be able to approach them and to, position this as, it's a win-win. This isn't about, we want something from you. This is good PR your company is going to get as well. And I think it's all in how you approach that conversation. But I really think it's starting with those evangelists. And if you position it like that and say, you are achieving great things. We want to share your story so others can benefit from your story. Your organization receives the benefit of getting this published as well. And you personally, this is a career builder for the people that are in the videos. It makes them look like they are the hero, because they are the hero. They're the ones, we don't get the credit for, we did this in this organization. Our customers are doing this. They're the ones, that are actually taking the sales process and doing something with it and seeing the results. So they're the heroes at the end of the day. And this is another great notch in their belt professionally that they can share as well. So, if you really approach it in that fashion and, put together, a collection, say, start with your top 10, here's our top 10 people that we want to approach and we'd like to target for this, and do it on their turf. You want to do a video testimonial, invest in your own video production team, whoever that might be. Go on site to your customers, make it easy for them. Schedule time to come out there, get a nice place to sit down, have your prepared list of questions that you run by with them. And when they're comfortable, then shoot it. And and it's really, it sounds as easy as that, but that's where you have to start, is you can't be afraid to ask for something. I feel like a lot of times, after you close the deal, so to speak, you're sort of afraid to go further than that. So I think the key is not being afraid to go back to the well, to those people that that are using your products and services, and check in and go, hey, monitor their progress, see what kind of value they're getting. You don't just, sign the contract and then you're done. For us, we make it a point to be able to circle back and be able to measure what kind of return they're getting. How are your salespeople improving? What kind of results are you seeing? And if those people are seeing some really great results, let's share that, So don't be afraid to approach, those clients and, use it to your advantage, because it really is a win-win, not just for you, but for them as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, the funny thing is, too, a lot of people feel like they have to shut down business for the entire day if they were to have a film crew come on site. You can probably attest to this. It's really not, that doesn't necessarily have to happen. And I love what you said there as well, in terms of we have to make it a win-win scenario. Mm-hmm. And I think that approach that you mentioned, in terms of making it to where there's a value for them to be a part of it is even better. Their name will get out there. They'll be shared on the company's content as well as something that they can utilize as well, which definitely is a win-win.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. In your opinion, I'm curious, why do you feel like most businesses, or let's say some businesses, they just don't utilize video content, especially with testimonies? What do you think is the holdup for them?
I think it depends. I think maybe more of the smaller to mid-sized organizations might think it's just too expensive. They might think video production and they just, we don't have the budget for that. And and that's fine. I mean, but there's always options. You can always start somewhere. And, maybe the larger organizations that are more hesitant to do it, they don't feel that clients will agree to it. They're afraid to ask. And, and it's just, it takes more effort, versus sitting there and saying, okay, well, let's draw up a case study or a success story. It definitely takes more effort because you're asking this person to take the time to sit down in front of a camera and share their story. And I think that a lot of people think, aside from the cost of going through and producing something like this, I think they're just sort of hesitant to, to approach the client for fear of rejection or, drawing attention to the account and making the salesperson mad. So I think that really, that and the fact that maybe some people, I've talked to some people in my personal circles that when it comes to videos and you see people on Facebook who are sharing videos and things like that, not everyone wants to take the time to watch a video. So they think, well, if I don't want to watch a video, no one else wants to watch a video, so what's the point? But really, when it comes to, the viral aspect of video marketing and the reality of where it's really going from both a B2B and a B2C standpoint, it's really huge. And I think it's just a matter of organization. I think they're starting to come around to this. I think that the trends are starting to work in that favor, and I think it's going to get even bigger going forward. But, I think it is. It's just sort of that unknown of, okay, how much is it going to cost, and do we really have to go there and ask our customers to do this? And I think that once you get beyond that hurdle, it's just much easier after that.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with it, and it makes me think of the early adopters curve in which at one point, which I still feel like we're in the beginning stages of people jumping on video marketing and other forms of social media, for example, and the ones who get in early enough are reaping and having the most success, whereas those who wait until it's like everybody has to have it, it's less impactful at that point. But it still works, but, in terms of any type of viewership or the number of followers or something like that, it'll seem like, oh, they have a video, like now that's old,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it has a lot to do with
time to jump in now.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's, and you touched on something that it sort of ties into the whole video marketing trend as well, is the social aspect of it, the social media marketing aspect that, I'm rather astonished that more companies are not taking advantage of social media marketing to really leverage it. They think it's just maybe fluffy or superfluous. I'm not really sure, but, I've even looked at some of our competitors and, it's quite astonishing to me that either they have a brand identity crisis, so they don't really know how to present themselves in social media, or, they're just not investing in it. I actually recently saw, I believe it was Rebrandly, had posted something on Twitter, and there was a study they did that found that I believe it's 68% of organizations only have like one or two people that are doing social media marketing. So, so a lot of companies aren't even investing very much in social media marketing. So it's, that, and I think that social aspect is definitely what helps drive the sharing of assets like video testimonials and case studies and press release, all these wonderful ebooks and infographics and all the great content that companies have to offer to put out there and share with prospects. If you're not utilizing all the tools available to you, it doesn't matter how many great videos you create if you're not utilizing all the channels to properly share them. So that's important as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's really, once you have the video content as well, it's about making sure that it gets seen. I think that one thing I find as well is that for those that do put in the hard work and they, invest in video marketing, in some cases I find that they're just not distributing it correctly. Because I can't tell you the number of people I talk to and they say, oh, we got videos, we're covered. And, we do a little bit more analysis and a little bit more in-depth searching and find that, okay, their videos might have had 10 views within the last year or something to that effect. And I think that distribution and making sure that people see it is just as important as having them to begin with. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I totally agree. I think part of that problem is people think if they share it once, then that's it. It's over and done. Or if they share it once and not as many people might click through to look at the video, they think, okay, well, that sort of flopped, so let's move on, and they forget about it. And, the key is repetition. I mean, you have so many different ways to share things now, through ebooks and newsletters, and, you have all your email communications, lead nurturing, you have social media marketing. I mean, so there's so many different ways to share it. I mean, it's not just one and done. And I think that's where you can't be discouraged. It's, for instance, when it comes to how we share content, on Twitter, for example, we have a global audience. So you can't just share a video once, 9:00 Eastern time in the morning and just think that's it. Yeah, I mean, we republish the same pieces of content all around the clock. And test things, play things up, have different headlines. Headlines are key. Images are key. Everything's very visual now. So you really have to learn to, once you have this great piece of content, you have your video, whatever it might be, you really, the onus is upon you to find ways to really take that and find other ways to present that and package it and put it out there. So don't just think, because once I created it, my job is done and I just plopped it out there somewhere. I mean, it's, you have to really get creative about, okay, well, don't let it die. That's the nice thing about a lot of this content, evergreen content, video content, is it really is never dead. So you can find ways to constantly repurpose it. And I really think that that's key, because I see so many people, like you said, I just feel like so many people are missing out on opportunities because, you publish it once and it's one and done. And it really is not. I mean, you really have to find ways to multiply that and just repackage it in a lot of different ways. And don't be afraid to test that.
Absolutely. And I think, too, just in terms of even easing the concerns that people have about how much time this is going to take. One thing that we always advise our prospects and clients on is that you can be really strategic and creative with how you put together the video content. So one thing that we've been doing and taking advantage of is batch recording. When we get together, let's go ahead and record enough content for the next 2 or 3 months, depending on the frequency at which they want to release. And that, when I tell them, they're like, oh, wow, that's, that could work. Let's go for that. And it really just makes it so much easier. So then you're looking at even better, I guess you can say, return on the investment of your time, because you produce the content, right, for, let's say a few hours one day, and you don't have to do it again for the next 3 months. And within that time, if you have the right team, and the right people in place to do that, you can literally be set up for a good number of months to have fresh new content that's being released. Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Jill, I'm really excited about the information that you're sharing. I know the listeners are loving it as well. As we start to wrap up here, I definitely want to be sensitive to your time. Tell us, one quick question I have is, what do you see in the future for marketing? And any closing comments you want to make would be great.
Okay. Well, I guess as far as the future of marketing, I sort of touched on this, but I do believe in it, is I think that there will be continued growth and investment in video marketing. And much like you said, I think we're still on the early adopting curve of where a lot of organizations are. But I think that it's definitely going to get, I think more of a popular tool, I think, when it comes to including that as part of the overall marketing strategy. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And in that same channel, I think that also social media marketing And content, I mean, really content marketing, it's a big buzzword out there, but content really is the heart and soul. It's the core of everything, I think, in marketing now, as far as where it's going. Content feeding the videos, feeding social media, feeding the blogging, it really feeds so many different things. Infographics are popular, ebooks, things like that, but content really drives all of that. And I think that a growth in the content marketing investment is going to be something that's only going to grow and get bigger. I think a lot of companies are realizing the value of it. And I really think that, the reason why is because, it's something I call buyer first marketing. And really it's marketing with the buyer in mind first and foremost. So, you look at old school, marketing, which is the selling and the packaging and, whatever the nicest ad, the loudest ad, whatever it might be. And that's so not the case anymore. It's really about creating the content, curating the content, and sharing the content that provides value, to your buyers and to your prospects, because at the end of the day, they're in so much more control now than ever. I mean, they're online. They have all their social networks. They can do all their homework on you with the touch of their fingertips. So being able to put the content out there where you want to be found, where your buyers are, wherever they're playing, that's where you need to be. But putting the value out there where, they have certain goals in mind. If they're looking for something and they're trying to find information, they have either a problem or a need or a goal, or they're curious about fixing something. So your product or service needs to be found in those places. And by just giving a nice little sales ad, that's not going to work. You have to be able to, address that, hey, here's 5 quick tips, that we have found or our clients have found about how you can improve this or that. So I really think that that's where, it all ties back to the content that your company has and being able to invest in that. And I think that that's, like I said, that's really going to be where the continued trend in the future of marketing is really going to be. So that's, I know for us, it's definitely been very successful for us. So, but yeah, I guess, really, it's, as far as closing thoughts, it really tying back to the customer marketing aspect of things. Take care of your customers, because if you do, they will take care of you. And I think that, a lot of times, a lot of organizations and marketing as well, you tend to place a lot of emphasis on finding new customers. And I really think it's just as important to focus on retaining the current happy customers that you have. Because like I said, they're the ones who can tell your story best. So find creative ways to create those customer loyalty programs, customer marketing programs, whatever it might be, to give back and to really recognize your customers. Because at the end of the day, they will help you create the most powerful content, really, that you'll be able to use as your marketing tools. So I really think there's a lot to be said in investing in them. So, don't be afraid to take the leap.
Absolutely. This is great advice for myself included in our company. This is great. I'm already getting ideas on how we can focus even more on our clients. So this is great. So where can people reach out to you if they want to connect further or have any other follow-up questions?
Sure. Well, if they want to learn more about my company, CustomerCentric Selling, they can just go to CustomerCentric.com. Or if you want to contact me directly, I'm on LinkedIn, so you'll find me on LinkedIn. You can drop me an email at jperez@CustomerCentric.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Jill Perez _ATL, since I'm based in Atlanta. So that's Jill Perez _ATL. So, and I try to share a lot of good marketing trends and news and feeds on there to help people out. So, so definitely you can follow me and hopefully get some good advice along the way. So look forward to connecting with everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Parshell.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, well, that's it for this episode. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, my friends, remember, a good boss is a good leader. Go out there and serve your gift for the world because you're the boss.
Thanks so much for listening to the Marketing Boss Podcast with your host, video marketing expert, Parshell Houghton. We'll catch you next time.